Hi, by demand, I'm going to show you the differences now between two of my Altruist sunscreens, and I'll sort of reintroduce the third one. But I am going to compare this, so their newest kid in the block, which is the moisturising fluid with SPF 50 and a PPD of 20. So that's a persistent pigmentation darkening protection factor, pigmentation darkening of 20. So that basically, the PPD shows you the UVA protection, the SPF is the UVB protection. Okay, so I'm going to compare that with this, which is their primer, also SPF 50, but with a way higher PPD, so way higher protection against UVA radiation. I think this is a PPD of 48. And just so you know, the face fluid, which is also SPF 50, has a PPD of 52, so the highest. That's really high. So all give you pretty good, all give you SPF 50, so that's really high UVB protection. The moisturising fluid gives the lowest UVA protection, very coarsely put, not scientific at all. UVB for burning, UVA for aging, pretty much. Okay, so let's just show you the texture of the moisturising fluid. Now, I've said it in previous videos, this one is slightly goopier. Because all of these, the primer, the face fluid, and this are all high protection, moisturizing face fluids, what is the difference? And Andrew Burney, who is one of the co-creators of Altruist, Dr. Andrew Burney, basically says that a lot of that is it's mental in a way. You're more likely to use something every day that's got the word moisturizer in big letters, then maybe you might be sunscreen. You might always forget you might forego the sunscreen in favor of moisturizer and go, oh yeah, I forgot to put it on today. Whereas you're less likely to do that if you're using a product which calls itself a moisturizer that happens to have very good sun protection. So there we are, but there are other differences. Now I would say texture-wise, this is the runniest. So the moisturizing fluid, this guy, is the runniest, but it's also the lightest. It definitely does not feel like a sunscreen. It also, possibly because it's got less in the way of physical sunscreen in it, so titanium dioxide being that ingredient, it leaves way less of a white cast than this guy. So yes, it looks shiny at the moment, but let's just let it sink in. So on this side, my bad side, I'm going to show you what the primer looks like. I definitely prefer the nozzle of the primer. The primer is the more expensive of the three as well. And obviously primer is to prime and prep your skin so that the products that sit on top of it, like makeup, if you wear it, won't kind of move so much. That's the kind of point of primer, I suppose. So that being said, I think, no, not that being said, in that way, it would be better for those with oilier skin because it would slightly mattify the skin, I find anyway. I don't have oily skin anymore. Mine is dry as a desert, so I do not care. Still slightly runny, but definitely less runny than the moisturizing fluid. So this is the primer, and this is going on the least favorite side of my face. I don't know why, just don't like it. All right. So I probably haven't put the same amount on. And again, definitely here, zero white cast to speak of, absolutely zero, which is really great. And let's see if it does actually mattify or if I've just completely made that up. It's got a slightly yellower color to it as well. So I'll just show you the primer a bit bigger up against the moisturizing fluid. And I can't work out what ingredient is making it that way, but there we go. Yes, runnier. Moisturizing fluid, primer. I think my hands need a good dose of sunscreen, to be honest. There we are. So I can't really show you the face fluid on top of that. You'll have to look at the previous video where I compared the face fluid with the moisturizing fluid. But just very shortly, those are the main differences, I would say. There are a couple of differences in the ingredients as well. They both have similar sunscreens in common. And before you say, gosh, she's reading all of that from memory, she really isn't. I'm reading off a screen, so sorry about that. So the ingredients that they both have in common are they both have glycerin, which is a skin identical ingredient. It's absolutely great. Skin identical ingredients are wonderful because your skin doesn't know the difference between what's man-made and what your skin has produced. It's a humectant, so it draws hydration and water to it. So that's really good if you suffer from something called transepidermal water loss, so TEWL, TUL, which is your skin gets older and doesn't get so good at, keeping everything in. I find the older I get, the drier my skin is becoming. So definitely opt for something with glycerin. It's a cheap as chips ingredient as well, but it's really, really important for skin health. So they both have that in. They both have sunscreen called, oh God, I wish there was a short name for this, phenylbenzimidazole sulfonic acid. Both have that, which is a UVB protecting sunscreen, which is lovely. They also both have something called Tenasorb S, which sounds so robotic and futuristic, and it kind of is. It's a broad spectrum, really photostable sunscreen, and it's kind of one of the new generations of sunscreens. On a little bit of a tangent, but there's loads of sunscreens that haven't passed American FDA rules, and it's not because they're banned. Contrary to popular belief, it's not because of that at all. It's just because FDA moves really, really slowly, and these new generation of sunscreens are nowhere near being FDA tested yet. That doesn't mean they're disapproved. It just means they're not yet approved, which is unfortunate because they're amazing. Both of these sunscreens also contain something called Uvinol T150, again, a new generation chemical sunscreen, and again, not available in the US like most amazing sunscreens aren't. Gives a really high photostable protection against UVB radiation as well. So they both have that. There's another chemical sunscreen here called dethahexyl butamidotriazone, another UVB protectant, which is absolutely wonderful. Physical sunscreen. So there's sunscreens kind of fall into two categories, chemical and physical. A popular physical sunscreen is titanium dioxide, which covers UVB and UVA2. And a little bit of UVA1. Don't ask me what the differences between those two UVAs are because I don't know. So the moisturising fluid is more of a hybrid sunscreen. It's got physical and chemical ingredients in it. The primer is more of a chemical sunscreen. I would say that the both products both have antioxidants, quite strong. What have they got? Which is the one? Tocopherol acetate, which is vitamin E. So both products have that, but only the moisturising fluid has niacinamide in it, which is a form of vitamin B. Niacinamide's now also kind of become a household name, if you like, because I think Deciem and The Ordinary just stuck it in everything, which is fine. So niacinamide really kind of benefits for skin over the really, really long term with continued use is reducing things like inflammation and hyperpigmentation as well, improving skin texture and enhancing sort of hydration. So again, the moisturizing fluid has niacinamide, the primer doesn't. So kind of those are the main differences and similarities with the both. I think you'll agree, I don't really see that much of a difference between the two sides, but maybe you do. I'll take my face somewhere else so maybe it can be a bit more honest. I don't know. Maybe it'll be different in about 10 minutes. Or maybe what I should do is just stick some makeup on the top and see how well it sits over the primer versus the moisturizing fluids. I would say if your skin is on the drier side, I would opt for the moisturizing fluid. And if your skin is on the oilier side, I would opt for the primer. And just to be aware as well that the primer would give much higher protection, more than double the protection against UVA rays than the moisturizing fluid. So the primer has a PPD of 48 and the moisturizing fluid has a PPD of 20. Whilst that's not low by any means at all, so I think that's really good for standard UK coverage. If I was going to a hot country, I would be wearing the face fluid every day with a PPD of 52 or the primer. Okay, I hope that's covered most things. Any questions, let me know.